Hi, morning, everyone. My name is Peter Cheng. Today, I will be sharing with you on the resources that are available in the community and how they could help support patients, caregivers of those with Parkinson's disease. So this is the outline of my presentation. I will start off sharing the impact of Parkinson's disease patients and their caregivers. It affects a patient in the following aspects: emotional, psychology, financial, family, and interpersonal relationship. I will also be sharing on community resources available for people with Parkinson as well as their caregivers to help them cope with the impact of the disease. So from this presentation, I will use PD to indicate Parkinson's disease throughout my whole presentation. Okay, being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease actually is a life-changing event. It impacts the person with PD and also their families in many ways. So you may wonder, how does it impact them? I would like to share with you some of the people with PD feels about their condition. There's a mother of 3 kids. She finds herself constantly asking, why me? Why did the condition has to happen on me? She finds it hard to believe and has fear of being a burden to her children. And a marathon runner who sometimes think, oh, I don't have the disease. I convince myself that even though, it is trembling, it could be something else. My eyes is playing tricks on me. It was actually difficult to accept the symptoms, such as the trembling, the freezing, unable to lift up her legs as they fell stuck to the ground. These conditions now makes it difficult for him to continue running for future marathons. That means it's hard to accept. And the designer shared that I could no longer draw, which is discouraging. Find himself having difficulties drawing out the details of his design piece due to the traumas. It has impacted to his job. It's a kind of changing in roles. That means unable to perform job duties due to progressive loss of physical ability. Okay, so actually, what are the impact of Parkinson's disease? PD is a progressive condition. Hence, at different stages of the condition, they may experience different losses. At the initial stage, there will be family, who can be independent in their mobility, active daily living, just like exhibiting traumas. But as it progresses, problems relating to balance may start to occur. They may then require assistance with standing and so forth. Therefore, at different stages of the condition, the impact it has on person with PD and their caregivers may change as well. So you can look at this table. They have 4 different categories: the emotional impact, financial impact, psychological impact, and also family and interpersonal relationship impact. So we start with the emotional impact. It's a loss of independence in their mobility. It may result in a sense of loss of control. As PD is a chronic and progression condition, many may start feeling sad about to fulfill their dreams or find their future looks bleak. Actually, they may have the thought of not fulfilling their dreams as well. They may thinking that they have to rely on their family members for care and financial support, creates this kind of fear in them of becoming a burden as the disease progresses. About financial, due to the progressive loss of physical ability to carry out daily tasks, it will impact their roles in performing their jobs. Some may face eventual loss of their job, and this may pose financial constraints at the family. If they are the solely breadwinner, and then psychologically, so actually it's both mind and behavior. Experience lowers self-esteem. Much of an individual's sense of identity is derived through job or the roles they play in their life. Example, a solid breadwinner of the family, role of a husband who helps with household chores, maybe due to PD condition, it impact their ability to carry out their roles. This kind of loss of roles can threaten self-esteem, whereby they find themselves less capable and unable to contribute in their roles. And maybe also loss of the privacy, dignity, especially at the much later stage, whereby they may need help with showering, collecting. There may be also a sense of stigma induced by the physical manifestation of PD may be felt. They may feel embarrassed by their inability to perform physical tasks or perceiving that others may feel pity, shame, or even feel resentful towards them due to their disease. For example, the slowness of movement or speech may be perceived as intellectual disability, imbalance as intoxication, masked facial expression as an unfriendly demeanor, and trauma as nervousness. Internalizing this judgment or trying to hide the disease to avoid discrimination only makes the symptoms even worse, resulting in wanting to isolate from socialization. And finally, the impact of family interpersonal relationship is the inability to speak may affect the communication between couples or family members. Some sexual issues may also arise, such as erectile dysfunction, hypersexuality, cognitive and mood changes may make it hard to initiate and follow through on every task, making it frustration and stressful for both the couple. Okay, so we talk so much about the PD patients. Then what about the caregivers? Here are what some of the caregivers share regarding their journey being a caregiver for a patient, for a person with PD, which I believe some of the caregivers who are present today may also share, some of the same feelings. They may feel fear, anxiety, stress, changes in the roles at home, changes in hope for the future, so on and so forth. So basically, the impact of Parkinson's disease on caregivers also can be impacting on all these areas: emotional, financial, psychological, family, and interpersonal relationship. So for emotionally, the people with PD may have difficulty managing and letting go of their negative emotion. They may also tend to withdraw themselves and wanting to stay at home instead of going out. They could also be in denial, avoidance, and constant search for a cure, unable to accept their condition and attributing to other reasons. As caregivers, having to deal with people with PD and their emotions may result in many occasions of disagreement with people with PD and also conflicts. Caregivers may also find themselves losing their patience and getting frustrated easily. So many may experience caregiver stress. They carry out themselves heavy responsibility of caregiving. Some may be juggling work, care concurrently to sustain the family, facing financial pressure due to rising care needs, lack of sleep resulting in exhaustion, demands of constant care, and guilt that they love their loved ones are not as comfortable as they could be. All these may put on a heavy strain and pressure on caregivers which may eventually lead to caregiver stress. They may start feeling sad that they may not be able to fulfill their dreams as they have to be a caregiver for their loved one. Then financially compromising job and income to become a caregiver. They may feeling the financial burden, especially if the person with PD was previously the one who is contributing financially to the family. There's also fear of increasing cost of caring for a person with PD. Psychologically, loss of identity and freedom. They may angry that others' lives are going on as usual, but yours isn't. And they neglect their own needs, little time for themselves, and also isolated from the world as they have to constantly care for the person with PD, neglecting their own health. So what about the family and interpersonal relationship? You can see that there are changes to the relationship and family functioning. Spouse may then be wearing multiple hats, such as being a caregiver, breadwinner, and also the parent. Loss of someone to share chores and also other tasks with. Loss of someone to talk things over with, because the PD patients may have difficulty in communication. We can also look at these Kubler-Ross stages of grief. So, as you seen in this slide, Kubler-Ross actually she maps the emotional and psychological responses that a person is likely to experience when she faces with grief, tragedy, and losses in their life. So the first stage is the denial stage. It could be denial about having PD and experiencing the various symptoms, or even denial that your loved ones has PD. Then secondly, anger can also manifest in different ways. They may be argumentative and possibly blaming others. They may be wondering, why is this happening to me? Hence, we can try to be more empathetic when experiencing the anger of someone who is very upset. So thirdly is depression. So many may find themselves becoming more depressed. They may feel overwhelmed with loss, change, feeling helpless. Then fourthly, they may start to bargain. At this stage, emotions remain high. They may be questioning in the situation and searching for a different outcome, looking for a way out of it. And lastly, acceptance. They have come to peace with the outcome, displaying new attitude and hopefulness for what remains. They are prepared and ready to face the inevitable outcome. So actually, each person may take different length of time to work through each step and express each stage with different levels of intensity. Actually, these all 5 stages need not to occur in any specific order. We can often move between the stages before achieving a more peaceful acceptance of the loss. There's no linear process, can oscillate. So it is therefore important for people with PD and their caregivers to get in touch with their feelings and to seek social and emotional support instead of avoiding vulnerability or isolating themselves. Okay, so now knowing the various impact of PD patients as well as their caregivers, in the next parts of the lives, I will be talking about the available community resources to support them through their coping with the impact. Actually, friends, family are one of the main resources. They are the key parts of the informal social support. They can lend support and encouragement to people with PD. It is important to remain connected to them, to journey with them through the whole condition. And secondly, you can look at those family service center. Family service center, actually they cross Singapore, and then they can provide support and counseling services to help individuals and family members The staff identifies and assesses the list of individuals or families and links them with appropriate community resources. And also counseling services. Counseling services are also available. Being able to confide in someone about emotions, frustrations, often helps to head off depression and feelings of confinement in many caregivers. Counseling for caregivers comes in many different shapes and forms. For some, participating in family counseling is a great way to share feelings of inadequacy, stress, and frustration. The skilled therapist can help elicit insight and enhance communication between family members in all types of caregiving situations. So what are the Parkinson related? Okay, the Parkinson Society Singapore provides people with PD and their caregivers avenues where they can meet their needs for education and informal information about the condition. Caregiver workshop. Caregiver workshop are organized specifically for the caregiver of people with Parkinson. And support groups provides them a platform from which they can share their experience as well as coping methods with one another, thereby enhancing their overall quality of life. The helplines. Various aspects of the helplines, such as PD caregivers could call for information and support, including coping with PD, managing expectation, listening without judgment, and providing easy to understand explanation about PD. Okay, then we can look at this financial assistance. These are the financial assistance scheme, for medical expenses, caregiving assistance. Please be reminded that this financial assistance scheme is not an exhaustive list. There are other schemes require patient to undergo being tests to determine the eligibility. And you may also approach agency for integrated care for more information about the financial assistance scheme. The social service office, it can provide the short to medium term assistance in the household bills, the employment assistance, medical assistance at the healthcare institution, and also cash assistance as well. And if you look at the devices, then you can think of SG Enable and also the Senior Mobility and Enabling Fund. They provide some funding for you to get the equipment, the devices, when you need them. And for the care resources, you can categorize into the center-based service, the home-based service, and also the institutional care services. For the center-based service, we have this daycare center, the community rehab service. For example, home-based service, we have this home nursing, home medical, home therapy, and also this home personal care service. And the institutional care service, you have the inpatient rehab, community hospital, these two are for shorter term, and nursing home and inpatient hospice, these are more for the longer term service. Examples, okay, you can see these other care resources, the therapeutic programs, training and public education. So example of the therapeutic program would be at the Parkinson Society Singapore. They have movement program such as the motivational yoga, Tai Chi, dance therapy, and even voice program, the laughter therapy. They also have dexterity program, arts, painting, paper clay, Chinese choreography, and origami. Then the caregiving training program, you can look at the AIC website. They have a link to various caregiving training program. Touch also have some caregiver training which can provide it to you. Okay, so in summary, Parkinson's disease actually impact the persons with the condition and also their family members in many, many ways. So the good utilization of the care financial resources can help them, can help the PD patients and their caregivers to cope better. Okay, then this is the second last slide. It shows some of the resources, available resources that you can approach that you have. Especially, you can look at the first two websites. They are very useful and they actually contain many, many information which are available to you. Thank you very much and thanks for today's